Ladies and gentlemen, when we think of health, most imagine pills, treatments, or medical interventions. Yet, science consistently returns to the most ancient medicine of all, food. What we place on our plate has the power not just to satisfy hunger, but to prevent the world's most feared diseases. Cancer, heart disease, and chronic inflammation may seem inevitable, but research shows they are deeply influenced by the daily choices we make at the table. Let us walk together through the top 10 foods that science confirms as warriors of health. Green leafy vegetables rich in chlorophyll and antioxidants sweep toxins from the body and defend against cancer growth. Berries, vibrant in color, contain polyphenols that reduce inflammation and protect the heart. Fatty fish, abundant in omega-3s, lower the risk of heart disease and calm inflammatory responses in the body. Next come nuts and seeds, small in size but immense in nutrition, lowering cholesterol and protecting arteries. Whole grains provide fiber that not only supports digestion but reduces the risk of colon cancer. Cruciferous vegetables like broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts contain compounds that neutralize carcinogens before they harm cells. Turmeric, with its golden glow, brings curcumin, a powerful anti-inflammatory compound that rivals pharmaceuticals in effectiveness. Garlic, long known in ancient medicine, strengthens the immune system and supports cardiovascular health. Tomatoes, with lycopene, stand as guardians against prostate and breast cancers. Finally, green tea offers catechins that guard cells against DNA damage and support longevity. Each of these foods alone holds power, but together they form a shield that science cannot ignore. They are proof that prevention is not hidden in laboratories but rests in the gardens, markets, and kitchens of our lives. When you choose these foods daily, you are not just eating. You are building defenses, nourishing your body, and writing a future of strength rather than sickness. Health is not a mystery, it is a choice, and the path begins with every bite. Science has uncovered truths that echo what intuition has whispered across centuries. Within the simplest of foods lies a hidden power, a quiet intelligence that moves through the body and brings order where disorder threatens. It is not the pill or the knife that first safeguards life, but the ordinary apple, the dark leaf, the berry bursting with color. These things that grow from the earth hold a design beyond human invention, and when embraced, they serve as guardians of the flesh and protectors of the heart. When one considers disease, the mind often rushes to fear, imagining a future where control is lost and fate dictates the end. Yet what is called fate is often the sum of countless small decisions, repeated day after day, plate after plate. The body is not built in hospitals, it is built in kitchens. It is here where one either feeds decay or nourishes vitality. Science has not only confirmed this truth, it has measured it, tested it, and shown that certain foods carry compounds that shield the body from cancer, defend the arteries, and soothe the fires of inflammation. Consider for a moment that every cell in the body listens to what you feed it. Within the bloodstream, information is carried, instructions are delivered, and destinies are written. A blueberry does not simply taste sweet. It whispers instructions to your genes to repair, to defend, to endure. A leafy green does not merely fill the stomach. It delivers molecules that awaken detoxifying enzymes, cleansing the very pathways where disease might begin. The science is clear, but the poetry of it is even more striking. To eat wisely is to converse with the body, to speak a language that leads to health instead of decline. The marvel of these foods is that they work silently, long before illness ever announces itself. Cancer is not born in a moment. It grows quietly over years, nourished by neglect and fed by indulgence. Yet science shows that the compounds within cruciferous vegetables can interrupt that process before it takes form, neutralizing the sparks before they ignite into flame. The body's defenses are not fixed. They can be strengthened, reinforced, made resilient by the daily act of eating what nature intended. Heart disease, too, is not an accident. It is the slow accumulation of choices, the layering of damage upon damage until arteries narrow and flow is blocked. But within walnuts, within olive oil, within the deep richness of salmon, there are gifts that lower inflammation, balance cholesterol, and keep vessels supple. The science is not abstract, it is practical. A handful of nuts each day can shift risk. A cup of green tea can alter the course, and a diet built on these simple gifts can rewrite the story of health. The power of food lies not only in nutrients, but in harmony. It is not one compound in isolation, but the orchestra of many, working in unison, creating a music that the body responds to. This is why whole foods triumph over extracts and supplements. A pill can never recreate the symphony of a berry, the union of fiber, antioxidants, vitamins, and phytochemicals that together create a shield. Science has measured this synergy and declared it real. The body does not thrive on fragments, it thrives on wholeness. Imagine, then, that each meal is a choice of direction. To choose a processed, empty food is to choose a step toward disorder. To choose a vibrant, living food is to choose a step toward vitality. Science has stripped away the doubt and proven that these steps accumulate, that the risk of cancer, the risk of heart disease, the risk of chronic inflammation is lowered with every consistent choice. Prevention is not dramatic, it is subtle, quiet, built one meal at a time. What is remarkable is how accessible this power is. It does not require wealth, prestige, or privilege. A tomato, a clove of garlic, a cup of beans, all of these are within reach. Within their simplicity lies strength greater than the most advanced drugs in many cases. For while medicine often seeks to treat what is already broken, food seeks to prevent the breaking. Science shows that the cost of prevention is always lighter than the cost of treatment. To live in harmony with food is to live in harmony with health itself. The body is a living garden, and food is the soil, the sunlight, the water. Disease cannot easily take root in fertile soil. Inflammation does not rage where balance is maintained. The heart does not fail where nourishment flows. Every bite, every sip, every choice contributes to this garden. Science has charted the way, showing us not only that food matters, but which foods matter most. The evidence is no longer hidden. It is abundant, tested across nations, across cultures, across decades. The responsibility, then, falls on the individual. No doctor can eat for you. No prescription can replace the daily act of nourishment. The prevention of cancer, the protection of the heart, the calming of inflammation begins not with fear, but with awareness, and then with practice. To embrace these foods is not sacrifice, but empowerment. It is not deprivation, but abundance. And the reward is not only the absence of disease, but the presence of energy, clarity, and strength. Science has confirmed what nature has always offered. Food is more than sustenance, it is medicine. To live with this knowledge is to live with power. To ignore it is to surrender that power. The choice remains in the hands of each one of us, renewed with every meal, repeated with every day. When chosen wisely, those small acts become a fortress, a shield that defends against the diseases that afflict so many. In the end, prevention is not a mystery, it is a practice. It is the quiet discipline of honoring the body with what it was designed to receive. Science has shown the way, but the journey must be walked by each one individually, and it begins not tomorrow, not next year, but with the very next bite. Inflammation is the hidden fire that burns silently within the body, often unnoticed until it erupts into disease. It is not merely the swelling after an injury or the redness on the skin. It is a deeper storm, a quiet blaze that smolders in the blood, in the tissues, in the very core of our being. Science has revealed that chronic inflammation lies at the root of nearly every major illness: cancer, heart disease, diabetes, even the decline of the mind. Yet this fire is not inevitable. It is fed or extinguished by the choices we make, and most powerfully by the food we eat. There are foods that pour oil upon the flame, and there are foods that soothe it, calming the heat, restoring balance. When one chooses to eat anti-inflammatory foods, they are choosing to strengthen the defenses of the body and slow the advance of age itself. For inflammation accelerates aging, breaking down cells, fraying the ends of DNA, and weakening the immune shield. But foods rich in antioxidants, omega-3 fatty acids, polyphenols, and phytochemicals intervene, quieting the inner fire before it consumes vitality. Imagine the body as a great city, alive with activity, its streets and avenues flowing with the traffic of blood. Inflammation is the chaos of unrest, the crowd turned violent, breaking down the walls, damaging the streets, disrupting the harmony of the whole. Anti-inflammatory foods act as wise guardians, calming the unrest, restoring peace, and keeping the city functioning as it was designed to. Berries, with their vibrant pigments, deliver compounds that reduce oxidative stress. Fatty fish like salmon and sardines, rich in omega-3s, bring balance to the immune system, reminding it to attack invaders, not itself. Olive oil, golden and pure, has been shown to lower inflammatory markers in the blood, gently guiding the body back to equilibrium. This is not mere metaphor, it is confirmed by science. The markers of inflammation, C-reactive protein, cytokines, interleukins, rise with poor diet and fall with the introduction of these healing foods. The body speaks clearly, and it responds to what it is fed. To choose these foods consistently is to turn the tide of aging, to strengthen immunity, to allow the body to heal itself as it was created to do. But the lesson extends beyond the individual cell. When one eats these foods, they are not only preserving life, they are expanding its quality. Energy flows more freely, clarity of mind returns, joints move with greater ease, the weight of fatigue lifts. Disease is not only prevented in the future, life is renewed in the present. Each meal becomes not simply fuel, but a deliberate act of healing, a conscious decision to invite peace into the body. Yet there is more. Science has revealed that the true power of food is not found in fragments or isolated compounds, but in wholeness. A capsule of vitamin C cannot replicate the effect of an orange. A supplement of curcumin cannot equal the effect of turmeric within a balanced diet. It is the harmony of nutrients working together that creates resilience. Within a whole food lies a symphony, each element playing its part, none seeking to dominate, each supporting the other. Fiber works with antioxidants, minerals work with vitamins, phytochemicals join forces with fatty acids, creating an effect greater than the sum of its parts. To strip away one nutrient and consume it alone is to silence the orchestra and listen to a single note. Science confirms this truth in study after study. The protective power of whole foods far surpasses the limited effect of isolated supplements. Consider the tomato. Its lycopene content is praised for cancer prevention, yet when lycopene is extracted and placed in a capsule, the effect is weak, inconsistent. But when the tomato is eaten whole, with its fiber, its water, its flavonoids and carotenoids, the protection becomes profound. The lesson is simple yet profound. Nature packages wisdom in wholeness. To trust that design is to align with strength. This is why the advice to eat whole, natural foods endures across time. It is not the invention of modern nutrition, nor the passing fad of health culture, but the recognition of an eternal principle: wholeness is health. A berry is not only a delivery system for antioxidants, it is a harmony of compounds perfected by nature. A leafy green is not only fiber and vitamins, it is the living essence of earth transformed by sunlight, ready to nourish and heal. When the diet is built on processed fragments, on refined grains stripped of their germ and bran, on oils refined and bleached, on sugars isolated from the cane, the harmony is lost and the body is left in disarray. Disease thrives where wholeness has been abandoned, yet restoration is never far. With every return to whole foods, with every choice to eat what is closest to its natural form, balance begins to return. The union of these truths, the calming of inflammation and the embrace of whole foods, creates a powerful shield against disease. They are not two separate paths but one. For anti-inflammatory power is found most abundantly in whole, natural foods, and wholeness is itself a protection against the fires of chronic disease. Science confirms it, but the body feels it long before charts and studies declare it. Energy rises, sleep deepens, mood stabilizes, and life takes on a greater fullness when these principles are lived.